Harish, audio is okay?
Yes, sir.
So last time we have started the Frobenius series solution for the second order differential equation, and we have seen for the or at the regular singular point we have to compute the Frobenius series solution. So in continuous of that, so last time we were doing this question. So here we have the question:
Sir,
2x
you're not
square y double dash
presenting.
plus xy dash minus x plus y.
Sir, you're not presenting.
So here, last time we were doing this question: 2x square y double dash plus xy dash minus x plus y is equal to 0. So we have computed the initial equation for this as m square minus m plus m by 2 minus 1 by 2 is 0, and we have the root as a 1 and minus half, and we have seen the difference is not 0 or not a integer, because here that if the difference is not 0, then we have some rule. So after that, we compare the coefficient of the x to power m plus n. So last time we have done this. So here we have the recurrence relation: an is equal to an minus 1 upon 2 into m plus n plus 1 into m plus n minus 1. So we have this recurrence relation, and on comparing the coefficient of x to power m, we have the initial equation with the root m is equal to 1 and minus half. So after that, either you compute the, with this size it is visible, na? With this size it is visible. So when we put n is equal to 1, 2, 3 in the recurrence relation, we will get the a1 is equal to a naught upon 2m plus 3 into m. In terms of the m, you write either you put the value of the m is equal to 1 or minus half in the recurrence relation first, or first you put the value of the n, right? First you put the value of the n, and then you put the value of the m. So here we have put the value of the n first. So put n is equal to 1, 2, 3, right, and so on. So you will get the a1 in terms of the a naught, a2 in terms of the a1, and so on. So ultimately you will get the all the coefficients, right, in terms of the a naught. So here the a1 is equal to a naught upon 2m plus 3 into m, a2 is equal to a1 upon 2m plus 5 into m plus 1, or a naught a naught upon m into 2m plus 5 2m plus 3 into 2m plus 5 plus m plus 1, right? So substituting this value in the Frobenius series, we will get, because Frobenius series is what, a naught summation a n x to power m plus n. So x to power m you can take common, and our in the bracket we have the a naught plus a1x plus a2x square, and so on. So here when we put the value of the a naught, a1, a2, and so on, so here you will get the Frobenius series solution. So in this series, just you have to put the value of the m is equal to 1 and m is equal to minus 1. So when we put the value of the m is equal to 1, you will get the series y1, and when we put the value m is equal to minus half, then you have to then the series will be the y2. So from here we can say the general solution yx will be the c1 y1 plus C2 Y2. So this much remain for the previous question, yesterday question. Now, very important theorem about the Frobenius series solution. You please read carefully this. Assume that x is equal to 0 is a regular singular point of the differential equation. First means y double dash plus px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0. Let's say x is equal to 0 is the singular point, or you can say regular singular point. And the power series expansion means, let's say y is equal to summation an x to power m plus n for n is equal to 0 to infinity. Power series expansion of xpx and x square qx are valid on the interval mod of x less than r. Means not power series, this is the Frobenius series. They are saying that xpx and x square qx are analytic. They are saying that they are the analytic because we can write xpx and x square qx in a power series form. It means it is the analytic. And in the interval mod of x less than r, where r greater than 0. It means r is what? Radius of the convergence. Now, let the initial equation. What is the initial equation for the given equation? It is the m square plus p naught minus 1 into m plus q naught is equal to 0. So, let the initial equation 5 have real roots m1 and m2 with m2 less than equal to m1. Means m1 is the largest root, m1 is largest root, and m2 is the smallest root. Right? It is the smaller root. So smallest root, m2 is smallest root, and m1 is largest root. At the equality, we have the equal roots. Otherwise, we have the one is smaller than the other one. So here we have the two distinct root. The equation 1 has at least one solution, at least one Frobenius series solution, When we have the two roots, so whether they are equal or unequal, but if we have the real roots, right? If we have the real roots, then we say that the equation has Frobenius series solution. That is the one result. Always, whether the equal root or unequal root or distinct root, we can say always we have the one Frobenius series solution. Now we have the extension. Of this. So that root will be the y is equal to x to power. In general, we have y is equal to what? Summation an x to power m plus n. So in place of the m, just you replace by the m1, bigger root. Means you will get the at least one Frobenius series solution for bigger root. Always you will get at least one Frobenius series solution for the bigger root of the initial equation. So here, when we have solution y is equal to summation an x to power m plus n. So in place of the m, if you put the m1, you will get the one Frobenius series solution. So solution will come y1 as a x to power m1 into summation n is equal to 0 to infinity an x to power n and a not equal to 0. B on the interval, right? On the interval 0 to r, because r is what? Radius of convergence for the xpx and x square qx. So means this solution is valid only for this range, where an is determined in terms of the a naught by the recursion formula. So you have seen, when we compute the Frobenius series solution, we have the recursion formula. So all the ans you can compute in terms of the a naught or a1. Means in other coefficients you can compute. Recursion formula with m replaced by the m1, and the terms summation an x to power n can can vary for the can converge for mod of x less than r. Means the power series is the convergent series. Means here we can say y, whatever if the y you are getting, that is also the analytic. That is also analytic. Furthermore, now the special condition is coming. You note down carefully. Furthermore, if m1 minus m2 is not zero, not zero means m1 is not equal to m2, or a positive integer. If the difference is not a positive integer, in previous question we have seen the difference was because m1 and m2 are 1 and minus half, so difference is the 3 by 2. So that is not integer. If the difference is not positive integer, the equation 1 has second independent solution. Then the equation has the second independent solution, or that solution you can compute as y is equal to summation a n x to power m plus n, and just you put m is equal to m2. For the m2 you will get the second linearly independent Frobenius series solution, right? So it has the second independent Frobenius series solution. Frobenius series solution. For Frobenius series solution for m is equal to m2, then only we have the second Frobenius series solution, and at that time y2 will become x to power m2 summation a n x to power n a not equal to 0. Now question arise, what will happen when the difference is 0 or the difference is positive integer on the same interval? Means this series is also analytic or convergent on the same interval, that is mod of x less than r, or x greater than 0 but less than r. Now when in this case the in this case again the an are determined by the in terms of the a naught through the recurrence relation. So in the recurrence relation, in the last example you have seen, we can put m is equal to m2, right? So here in the formula of the recurrence relation, with m replaced by the m2, replaced by the m2, and it is the convergent for the mod of x less than r. Now the question arises, when the difference is not integer, when difference is difference is integer and difference is 0, at that time what is the case? So here we have the different cases. So here we have the case first, when when m1 and m2 are distinct, not differ by the integer. At that time our general solution will be whatever the case we have discussed. At that time the general solution will be the c1 y1 plus c2 y2, where y1 for the m is equal to m1 and y2 is the m for m is equal to m2, right? So here we have the c1 y1 plus c2 y2, that is the general solution. Now when m1 is equal to m2, when m1 is equal to m2, it means m1 minus m2 is equal to 0, when difference is 0. At that time we have the solution. One solution you will get as a c1y for m is equal to m1. If the m1 m2 are equal, so one Frobenius series you will get for the m is equal to m1, and second linearly independent solution, now not a Frobenius series. Now we are computing only the second linearly independent solution, not a Frobenius series, that you will get by taking the partial derivative of the solution y with respect to m for m is equal to m. When we take the partial derivative of a solution, this is not a Frobenius series solution. This is not a Frobenius series solution. This is only the Li solution, linearly independent solution. This is only the Li solution, and that you can get by taking the partial derivative of solution with respect to m, right, for m is equal to m1. Similarly, all the cases I will discuss one by one. Similarly, if m1 and m2 are distinct and differ by integer, when the difference m1 minus m2 is equal to positive integer, at that time you have to replace the a naught by b naught into m minus m1, and by doing this, you will find that m minus m1 will cancel out, right? And at that time, then you have to take, after substituting this a naught in place of the a naught, you have to substitute b naught into m minus m1. Then you have to write the second linearly independent solution by partial derivative of y with respect to m for the m1. So here we will get the general solution as y is equal to c1 y1 plus c2 del y del m for m1. So that is the theory of the Frobenius series solution. Any doubt in this point? Harish, any doubt?
No, sir.
Here, any doubt? Now, let us see the question number 1 of the section 30. Equation x square y double dash minus 3x y dash plus 4x plus 4x plus 4 y is equal to 0 has only one Frobenius series solution, and find it. So in this case, we have the equation x square y double dash minus 3x y dash plus 4x plus 4 y is equal to 0. Let us confirm this. X square minus 3x, yes. If we have this equation, so if you write in the standard form, it can be written as x square y double dash plus x minus 3 y dash plus 4x plus 4 y is equal to 0. You can see here x is equal to 0 is regular singular point. Now I'm not going in detail of that. Regular singular point. So first we have to verify that x is equal to 0 is regular singular point or not. So first you have to verify that. After verifying that x is equal to 0 is the regular singular point, now you have to compute the first indicial equation. So here small px is what? Minus 3, and small qx is what? Here we have the 4x plus 4. So when we compute the small p at 0, it will give you minus 3, and q at 0, it will give you 4. So indicial equation is what? Indicial equation is so it is the m square, right? M square plus p naught minus 1 into m plus q naught is equal to 0, or m into m minus 1 plus p naught m plus q naught is equal to 0. You can remember anyone. So in this case, it will become the m square plus minus 3 minus 1 m plus 4 is equal to 0. So it will give you m square minus 4m plus 4 is equal to 0. So here we have the root. What will be the root? M is equal to, yes, what is the root? 2, right? 2 comma 2. So here the root are 2 comma 2. Right? So in this case, you can see m1 is equal to m2 is equal to 2. Right? So which case? In this case, we have the second case. M1 is equal to M2 is equal to 2, or difference is equal to 0. So at that time, I have told you that we have at least one Frobenius series solution, right? That is the y for m is equal to m1. So, and second linearly independent solution we can compute by taking the partial derivative. So here, now we have to compute. So here, according to theorem A, we can have only one Frobenius series solution. Only one Frobenius series solution. So, and what is the Frobenius series solution? At that time, we have to assume let y is equal to summation a n x to power m plus n is equal to 0 to infinity b Frobenius series solution of first of the given equation. Right? Let's say this is the first. So of the first given equation, so from here you will get the y dash as summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a n m plus n x to power m plus n minus 1, and y double dash you will get as a summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a n m plus n m plus n minus 1 and x to power m plus n minus 2. That is, now you put the value of the y and y dash, y dash and y double dash in the given equation. So here we have the equation x square. Now summation a n n is equal to 0 to infinity y double dash, so m plus n m plus n minus 1 m plus n minus 1 x to power m plus n minus 2. That is the y double dash minus 3x, so minus 3x summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a n m plus n x to power m plus n minus 1 plus 4x plus 4 4x plus 4 into y, so summation a n x to power m plus n is equal to 0. So here we have put the value of the y dash and y double dash. So now if you multiply this x square here, it will give you m plus n, right? Here when we multiply with the x with this m plus n, it will give you m plus n, and for this we have the m plus n. So just I'm instead of multiplying, I'm just now directly collecting the term. So here we take the summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a n if you take, and here we have the x to power m plus n. So when we collect the term of x to power m plus n, so here we have the an, so m plus n minus 1. From the second we have the minus 3 m plus n, and from the last we have the plus 4. And if you multiply this 4x with this, so you will get the x to power m plus n plus 1. So that can be written as summation n is equal to 0 to infinity, right? And here we have the 4 a n x to power m plus n minus m plus n plus 1 is equal to 0. Now I have told you always we have to make all the power of x as a x to power m plus n. So for making this, what we have to substitute? We have to substitute n is equal to n minus 1. When we substitute n minus 1, so this plus summation. Now when we put n is equal to n minus 1, it will become the n is equal to 1 to infinity, right? 4 a n minus 1 x to power m plus n is equal to 0. Now on comparing, compare coefficient of x to power m to 0. So from where you will get the x to power m, right? From here you will get the x to power m. So in this case you will get the n is equal to 0. So when we put n is equal to 0, you will have the a0 into, now here we have the m, here we have the m minus 1, and here we have minus 3m plus 4 is equal to 0. So since a naught not equal to 0, in the Frobenius series we have considered that a naught cannot be 0. This line is very necessary to write in the exam, right? Since a naught is not equal to 0, right? So this will give you m into m minus 1 minus 3m plus 4 is equal to 0, or m square minus 4m plus 4 is equal to 0. This implies m is equal to 2 comma 2. So either you compute the integral equation by this method or by the previous method. It's up to you. Now compare the coefficient of x to power m plus n to 0. Now, if you compare the coefficient of x to power m plus n to 0, so from here you will get summation n is equal to 0 to infinity an, and from here you will get the m plus n minus 1 minus 3m plus n minus 3 m plus n minus or plus 4, this will not come, right? So this is from the first summation, and from the second summation we have the plus 4a n minus 1 is equal to 0. So that will be the coefficient of x to power m plus n. So from here you can write this an as m plus n minus 2 whole square is equal to minus 4 a n minus 1. So here you will get the n is equal to minus 4 a n minus 1 upon,
Sir, we
yes,
won't get m plus n in the second term.
this.
No, sir. In the 4an minus 1.
Where we have the 4, this, no?
Sir, n starts from 1, so it will be m plus 1.
No, I am comparing the coefficient of the x to power m plus n. So here we have the n greater than or equal to 1. Yes, you compare. On both sides we have n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1. Means this series we have written for the a naught something plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity plus summation n is equal to 1 to infinity. So from this we are taking the from this we are. So from this we are taking the common. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So here we have the an is equal to minus 4 an minus 1 upon m plus n minus 1 or minus 2 whole square for n greater than or equal to 1. So this is the recurrence relation. So when we have this recurrence relation, so what will be the a1? A1 will be the minus 4 a naught upon n is equal to 1, means it will become the n is equal to 1 means m minus 1 whole square. What will be the a2? A2 will be the minus 4 a1 upon, when we put n is equal to 2, it will come m square, and this can be written as 4 into 4, right? 4 square a naught upon m square m minus 1 whole square, right? Similarly, we can compute the a3, a4, a5. It means y is what? Y is the summation n is equal to 0 to infinity an x to power m plus n, or you can say x to power m summation an x to power n from 0 to infinity. So here we write x to power m and a naught plus, what is the a1? A1 is minus 4 a naught upon, so here we have the minus 4 a naught upon m minus 1 whole square into x, that is the a1, plus a2, so a2 is the 4 square a naught upon m square m minus 1 whole square into x square, and so on. So that is your y. Now for getting the y1 is what? Y for m is equal to 1 root, bigger root, but in this question we have the equal root, so we put the m is equal to 2. So when we put m is equal to 2, it will become the x square, and a naught you can take common, 1 minus m is equal to 2. M is equal to 2 means 4 upon 4 upon, here we have the m is equal to 2, so it will become 1. So 4x plus 4 square and x square, 4 square x square, and 2 square 1 square, 2 square 1 square, and so on. So you will get the first series. So this is the existence of the one Frobenius series, right? One Frobenius series solution when we have the equal root. Now what is the case second? In the case second, now if you have to determine the second linearly independent solution, so first we have to compute the del by del m. So here when we compute the del by del m, so del by del m you have to compute from here. So what is the del by del m? So if you apply the by parts, so first function, second function, right? First function, second function. So for the first function, we have the derivative x to power m log x into second function as it is, plus first function as it is, and derivative of the second function. Derivative of the second function. So here in the first we have the a naught, it is 0. A naught you can take common. Okay, a naught you take common. So a naught also here you can take common. So a naught. So inside we have the 4 upon m minus 1 whole square into x. So its derivative will be the 4 into 2x upon m minus 1 cube plus here we have the 4 square x square, and derivative of this. So derivative of this 1 upon m square into m minus 1 whole square. So here we have the derivative 1 upon m square. So it will come 2m m minus 1 whole square, right, plus m square 2 into m minus 1, right, upon m square m minus 1 whole square, m minus 1 whole square. So in this way you do the partial derivative, and when we put dy by del m for y is equal for m is equal to 2, so at wherever we have the m, just you put m is equal to 2, you will get the second solution. So that is the second linearly independent solution. So here we have done. So this is the same initial equation we have computed. So here we have the recurrence relation. The same recurrence relation we have computed. Here we have put the value of the m is equal to 2. So now you have the value of the a1, a2, a3, and so on. So just you put the value of the a1, a2, a3 here. So that is the first Frobenius series, a naught x square into 1 plus 4x, 1 minus 4x plus 4x square, and so on. The same thing we have already done. Now we have to see the second Li solution. So for the second Li solution, an is what? Minus 4 an minus 1 upon m plus n. I think it is minus 2. It is minus 2, right? And n greater than equal to 0. Everywhere we have the same thing. So from here we have computed the a1, a2, a3. So here we have the y in terms of the n. Now it is necessary to compute the Li solution to write the Frobenius series solution in terms of the m. Then we take the partial derivative, right? Then we take the partial derivative del by del m, right? So here you will get the del by del m, and you just put the m is equal to 2 in this, so you will get the second Li solution, right? So our general solution will become C1 y1 or C1y for m is equal to 2 plus C2 del by del m for m is equal to 2. In this way we can, but this is the Frobenius series solution, but this is not Frobenius series. This is not a Frobenius series. That is the logic here. I'm saying that we have the, this is the y in terms of the m. This is the y in terms of the m, means a naught x to power m 1 minus 4 upon m minus 1 whole square x plus 4 square upon m minus 1 whole square m square x square and so on. If you take the del by del m, so del by del m means this is the first function and whole bracket is the second function. Whole bracket is second function. So when we take the first derivative, partial derivative del by del m, right, or partial derivative with respect to m. So for this, for the x to power m, we have the x to power m log x, x to power m log x, and bracket term as it is, bracket term as it is, plus first term as it is. Now derivative of the bracket, derivative of the bracket. So derivative of this is the 0. Derivative of this 4 upon m minus 1 whole square. So this will come 4 into 2 upon m minus 1 whole cube, right? And derivative of 4 square upon m minus 1 whole square upon m square, that will become 4 square, right? 4 square into 2 into m minus 1 m square plus 2 m minus 1 whole square into m upon m minus 1 whole square m square whole square. Actually what we are doing here, we have to do the derivative of 4 upon m minus 1 whole square m square. So its derivative we have to compute, its derivative we have to compute by the del m. So 4 square as it is, right? And derivative of, now derivative of this will become the 2 m minus 1 m square, and derivative of this will become, right, derivative of this will become m minus 1 whole square into 2m upon m minus 1 whole square m square, m minus 1 whole square m square with the minus sign, right? So हाँ हाँ चलो मैं कैसे रिकॉर्डिंग जा रही है, अच्छा हमारे पे नहीं आएगी। This derivative part is clear now, or I have to re-explain? Here we are talking to how to determine the second linearly independent solution. So for that, first we have to write the y in terms of the m, right? You have to write the y in terms of the m. So x to power m into a naught plus a1x plus a2x square and so on. So here we have put. So now after that, you have to compute the del y by del m. So del y by del m. So for that, we have to consider this as a two function, first function x to power m and second function as a bracket term. So when we take the derivative, so for the x to power m, we have the x to power m log x into bracket, right? Into this bracket plus first function as it is a naught x to power m, and then we take the derivative of the bracket term. So here we have the first is the 1, so it's 0. For the 4 upon m minus 1 whole square, it will give you 2 upon m minus 1 cube minus 2 upon m minus 1 cube. Similarly, for the 1 upon m minus 1 whole square m square, it will be the right, it will be the 2 m minus 1 m square plus m minus 1 whole square 2m upon m minus 1 whole square m square into square with the minus sign. So in this way we do, and after that we put the m is equal to 2, so you will get the second linearly independent solution. So generally in the book it is not available for the, they have in the book we have the exercise only for the means to determine the first series solution. Now we have very important question, two questions we have to study simultaneously. So one of them is this: Bessel equation of order p is equal to half is x square y double dash plus x y dash plus x square minus 1 by 4. In general, here we have, at this place we have the p square. So just in place of the p, we are putting the p is equal to half. So x square y double dash plus x y dash plus x square minus 1 by 4 y is equal to 0. So that m1 minus m2 is equal to 1 means difference is positive integer. But that nevertheless the equation has two independent Frobenius series solution. Means the theorem states that if the difference is, if difference is integer, it is never denying that two Frobenius series solution cannot exist. May also exist, but at least one will always exist. At least theorem A state that whatever the root, the one Frobenius series solution will always exist for the bigger root, and for the smaller root it may or may not exist. It may or may not exist. So in this question you will find it will exist. So that m1 minus m2, but nevertheless the equation has two independent Frobenius series solution. So in this case we have the equation x square plus y double dash plus x y dash plus x square minus 1 by 4 y. So when we compare with the standard equation, x square y double dash plus x px y dash plus qx y is equal to 0. So from here you will get the small px as a 1 and small qx as a x square minus 1 by 4. So when we put x is equal to 0, you will get the p0 as 1 and minus 1 by 4. So p0 as a 1 and q0 as a minus 1 by 4. So initial equation we have the m into m minus 1, right, plus m into p naught plus q naught, or we have the m square plus p naught minus 1 m plus q naught is equal to 0. It's up to you, whatever you want to remember. So here we have the initial equation. So initial equation will come m square minus m plus m minus 1 by 4. So here m and m cancel out. So here we have the m square minus 1 by 4 is equal to 0. So you will get the two roots. m is equal to half, and m is equal to minus half. So always for the bigger root, you have to say it is the m1, right? For the bigger root, always you specify the m1 and say for the smaller root it is the m2. So when we compute the m1 minus m2, you will see it is the positive integer. It is positive integer. That is the one. It is the positive integer. So by the theorem A, we have at least one Frobenius series solution for the bigger root. So in this case, which is an integer, this does not rule out. This does not rule out the possibility of the two Frobenius series solution. By the theorem A, first part, it is confirmed that one Frobenius series solution will exist for the bigger root, right? For the bigger root, but it is not ruling out that second Frobenius series cannot exist. It may or may not exist. So here, now we compute the first Frobenius series solution. So first Frobenius series solution always exists for the bigger root. So here we will compute the first Frobenius series solution for the m is equal to half. So for that, what we have to consider, let y is equal to x to power m summation of a n x to power n be the Frobenius series solution of the given equation. So we can compute the y dash as summation a n m plus n x to power m plus n minus 1 and y double dash, right? And y double dash as a summation m plus n into m plus n minus 1 x to power m plus n minus 2, right? Now when we put the value of y dash and y double dash in the given equation, the same procedure. So I am not writing here. Wherever there is a requirement, there I will write. So by putting the value of the y dash, y double dash in the given equation. So given equation is what? X square y double dash plus x y dash plus x square minus 1 by 4 y is equal to 0. So here we have the x square y double dash plus x y dash plus x square minus 1 by 4 into y is equal to 0. Into y is equal to 0. So now when we multiply this x square with x to power m plus n, x to power m plus n minus 2, so here the power will become the m plus n. When we multiply this x with this x to power m plus n minus 1, so it will become the power m plus n. Now when we multiply this with the x to power m plus n, at that time it will become the m plus n plus 2, and when we multiply with the 1 by 4, it will remain x to power m plus n. So when we compare, when we collect, right? So here we have the x to power m plus n plus 2, and here we have the x to power m plus n. Clear? Now we collect. Now we collect the term, right? Term of x to power m plus n. X to power m plus n. So here we have the an common, x to power m plus n, and inside the bracket we have m plus n into m plus n minus 1 plus, right, m plus n into m plus n minus 1 plus m plus n minus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 4. So that we have this plus second term can be the summation n is equal to 0 to infinity a n x to power m plus n plus 2 is equal to 0. So that is our right equation. Now in this case, first what we have to do, we have to compare the coefficient of lowest power of x to 0. So when we put n is equal to 0, the lowest power will come x to power m. So here on comparing the coefficient of, equating the coefficient of power of x to 0, lowest power of x to 0, you will get the m into m minus 1 plus m minus 1 by 4 into a naught is equal to 0. Since a naught not equal to 0, you will get the initial equation m square minus 1 by 4 is equal to 0. That is the m is equal to half and minus half. M is equal to half and minus half. M is equal to half and m is equal to half and minus half. Now when we here you can see the summation is starting from the n is equal to 2. on adjusting the x to power m plus n. This summation will start from the n is equal to 2. So when we, it means for the n is equal to 0 and for the n is equal to 1, we have to write from here. From this summation we have to write for the n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1. So when we put n is equal to 1, what you will get? You will get the m plus 1. From here you will get the m plus 1. From here you will get the m, right? From here you will get the m plus m plus 1. From here m plus 1 and minus 1 by 4 into a1 is equal to 0. Into a1 is equal to 0. So this will give you m plus 1, that common inside we have the m plus 1 minus 1 by 4 into a1 is equal to 0. Into a1 is equal to 0. Now when we put m is equal to half, so it will become m is equal to half, means for the m is equal to half it will become the 3 by 2, right? 3 by 2 and m is equal to half, 3 by 2 whole square, right? 3 by 2 whole square minus 1 by 4 into a1 is equal to 0. This implies a1 is equal to 0 because uh, other part is non-zero. So if the product is 0, so this will give you a1 is equal to 0. So here you will get the a1 is equal to 0. So that is written here on comparing the coefficient of x to power m plus 1. We have the m plus 1 into m plus m plus 1 minus 1 by 4 into a1. So when m is equal to half, it will give you a1 is equal to 0. And when m is equal to minus half, right? When m is equal to minus half, then what will happen? M plus, we have the m plus 1 whole square minus 1 by 4 into a1 is equal to 0. So when we put m is equal to minus half, so due to the minus half it will become half whole square minus 1 by 4, a1 is equal to 0. So because this is the 0, this will give you a1 is equal to 0. So when m is equal to minus half, at that time a1 is equal to 0. When m is equal to half, at that time when m is equal to half, then a1 is equal to 0. When m is equal to minus half, then a1 is non-zero. That you have to remember, that I will use later part. Now if you take the coefficient of x to power m plus n minus m plus n, x to power m plus n, so this will become m plus n into m plus n minus 1 plus m plus n minus 1 by 4 an plus an minus 2, is equal to 0, or an is equal to minus an minus 2 upon m plus n whole square minus 1 by 4, right? For n greater than equal to 2. So at least one, this is the recurrence relation. This recurrence relation you have to use to compute the all the coefficient. So when we put m is equal to half, right, for the bigger root, so when we put m is equal to half, we have the modified recurrence relation as, right, this one, an is equal to minus an minus 2 upon half plus n whole square minus 1 by 4, or you can say it is the minus an minus 2 upon 1 by 4 plus n square plus n minus 1 by 4, or minus an minus 2 upon n into n plus 1 for the n greater than equal to 2. So from here you can compute the value of a odd n, right? So odd n depend over the a1, a3, a5 and so on. So a3 will come 0, and then a5 in terms of the a3 will become 0, a7 in terms of the a5 will become the 0. So here we have the all the 0 for the m is equal to half. Now when n is even, we have the a2 is equal to minus a0 upon 2 into 3, right? Just to put n is equal to 2, you will get the this from here, right? So minus a0 upon 2 into 3, so that is the minus a0 upon factorial 3. Similarly a4, when we compute, it will give you a2 upon 4 into 5, that is the plus a0 upon factorial of 5, So what is the Frobenius series solution? Y is equal to summation x to power an x to power m plus n. So that we have written here, y is equal to x to power m into a naught plus a1 x plus a2 x square and so on. Right? So just you put m is equal to half, m is equal to half, and a naught you can take common. So inside the bracket you will get the 1 minus x square upon factorial 3 plus x to power 4 upon factorial 5 and so on. So when we multiply and divide by the x, multiply and divide by the x, so inside the bracket you will get the x minus x2 upon factorial 3 plus x to power 5 upon factorial 5 and so on. And that is very famous series of, or series expansion of the sin x. So this will become a naught x to power minus half sin x. Means this is what, this is the Frobenius series solution for the bigger root. Always will exist, right? Always will exist for the bigger root. In next class we continue. Very important theorem it is, we have to tell here. So just first part we have of the theorem we have done, right? Later part of the theorem we will do in next class. This is a very important question. Bessel equation itself is very important. We have the complete chapter for this Bessel equation.
Sir, could you again explain theorem A?
Theorem A states that if we have the two roots, right? If we have the two roots m1 and m2, then for the bigger root always we have the Frobenius series solution. For the smaller root we can have is Frobenius series, or we may or we may not have the Frobenius series solution, right? If it exists then it's okay. If it does not exist then we have to compute the second linearly independent solution by taking the partial derivative del by del m for the m is equal to same root m or m2. That is the theorem B. Clear?
Yes.
You can leave. Welcome.